Hi guys, JT here, and today I'll be bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Fantastic Journeys Middle-earth and Beyond Bundle of August 2022 to help you answer the question, should you buy it? If you want to know more about game deals, then feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps the channel out. So let's get into this. At number 1, we have Middle-earth Shadow of War, an open-world action-adventure game and the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, which we will get into in a bit. In Shadow of War, you play as Talion, a human, and Celebrimbor, the spirit of an elf lord, both returning protagonists, going on a quest to forge a new ring of power to amass an army to fight against Sauron. What's interesting about this game is the Nemesis system, which allows you to gain followers from several races of Middle-earth. The game is open world, so you can freely explore the lands of Mordor, completing quests and chopping orcs and uruks' heads off. You can even recruit them to fight in your army as you're trying to build your army as mentioned earlier. The fun part about this game is definitely the exploration and the combat itself. You can shoot enemies from afar, send recruits into battle with you, and slay enemy generals. The Nemesis system also allows the enemies to remember who you are and if you have faced them before in battle. This system also has enemies in ranks, so you have the foot soldiers to the generals, and as the world goes on, the lower ranking generals may betray a higher ranking general and murder them to rank up. Another example of this system is if you are killed by a lowly orc, the orc will level up and go further up the ranks, making them stronger and tougher the next time you face them. The combat in this game is really good. Imagine the Arkham series fighting but in the world of Lord of the Rings. You can level up and collect loot, which can be really addictive. This game also features 2 endings, with a secret ending requiring you to conquer and defend all of the forts in Mordor. This will have you constantly leveling up your followers, obtaining proper gear, and doing a lot of fighting. Like, a lot of fighting. The secret ending is only for the most dedicated of fans of Shadow of War, and in the definitive edition of the game, you get even more content and more playtime. If you like killing orcs and uruks in really cool ways, or recruit one of their buddies to kill them for you, then Middle-earth Shadow of War is an awesome game to play. At number 2, we have Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, another open-world action game and the first game in the Middle-earth game series. This game bears many resemblance to the Shadow of War game above. But instead of being able to recruit and build an army, you get to influence the minds of the orcs, who could kill their commanding officers for you, taking over their ranks, making raiding a fort that they control much easier. You play as Talion, a human who was seemingly killed by a gang of orcs, but you soon meet up with Celebrimbor, the spirit of an elf king in the netherworld, and you're thrown back into the world of Middle-earth as a vengeful, resurrected human, wanting revenge upon the orcs. And there begins your adventure that spans across 2 games. This game is harder than Shadow of War, especially early on. Open combat with that many orcs is a very bad idea, so you might want to sneak around to stealth kill a little to thin out the orcs' numbers, rather than going full-blown Rambo taking on the orc horde on your own. The world of Middle-earth is amazing to explore, with many Lord of the Rings lore scattered around the world to discover. Like Shadow of War, the combat and exploration are the highlights of this game. Combat is very satisfying, being able to dismember and cut heads off orcs, watching their black blood burst out of their gaping neck wound and their bodies fall in slow motion onto the ground. Combat is fast too, allowing you to counter with a press of a button, much like the Arkham games. You have access to a bow and arrow as well, so you can feel like Legolas from the Lord of the Rings if you want to. If you like open world adventure games and Lord of the Rings, then Shadow of Mordor is definitely a great game to play. At number 3, we have Gauntlet Slayer Edition, a top-down hack-and-slash dungeon crawler game. You play as somebody who stumbles upon a wizard, and the wizard requires you to collect 3 lost shards, and in return he will bless you with power and riches, and that's it. So you travel through procedurally generated dungeons, hacking and slashing your way through rooms after rooms of demons till you reach the 3 big bosses and slay them. There are many bosses in this game before you get to one of the 3 main bosses, so they aren't just 3 bosses. There are 5 classes to choose from, and all of them play very differently. There is the warrior who specializes in melee attacks, the Valkyrie who is a more balanced melee fighter with more defense, the wizard who casts spells, the elf who is a long-range fighter, and a necromancer who can drain souls to summon the undead. So if you want to experiment with each of them, you will be playing this a while. This game is all about the grind. You'll be killing a lot of enemies in this game over and over again to collect gold. You can then buy upgrades with said gold. This game does not have a level up system, so you can't just grind your way to level up, which is a bit strange for somebody like me, who is so used to leveling up my characters. But there you go. Like a lot of dungeon crawlers, every time you go into a new room, the door will close behind you, and the enemies will spawn in for you to murder. Once you have hacked and slashed your skulls off, the next area opens up to you. There are also secret areas for you to uncover, usually hidden behind a wall that you have to throw a bomb at from across the room. If you like grinding for gold and destroying hordes and hordes of monsters with your weapons, watching their demonic bodies explode, then Gauntlet Slayer Edition is for you. And number 4, we have LEGO Lord of the Rings. The LEGO rendition of the popular movie, The Lord of the Rings, based on the famous novel by J.R.R. Tolkien. If you've played any of the LEGO games, then you've pretty much played them all. You'll be solving puzzles, building LEGO structures by holding a button, fighting off LEGO versions of orcs, and some light platforming. But you can do all of this within Middle-earth, following through the main plot lines across 3 Lord of the Rings movies from the Shire through to Mount Doom. Remembering that this game is aimed towards children, many of the serious tone of the movie, including Gandalf's obvious addiction to his tobacco, have been dialed down in humorous ways, like Gandalf holding up a steaming cup of hot cocoa rather than puffing smoke from his pipe. Just to keep it simple for the younglings, combat is set to a single button press to attack and another button to jump. You can play as all of the members of the Fellowship and utilize each of their skills to solve puzzles together and fight off the orcs. Legolas could shoot arrows, Gandalf could cast magic spells, while Gimli could be thrown at objective points to unlock paths, as an example. While Frodo mostly just runs around and screams a lot. It's definitely the most fun when you play with a second player, as you share humorous moments together, especially if the both of you have seen the movies. Even though the Lord of the Rings have some pretty epic battles, you won't have the opportunity to fight a horde of orcs or urgs. Instead, you're usually put into an arena, using the environment to solve puzzles. After you're done with the story, you can explore each stage to find more secrets and the mysterious red bricks, to unlock more characters to play with. LEGO Lord of the Rings is fun for people who are just looking for a casual gaming experience, and especially if you have a second player to play along. At number 5, we have LEGO Harry Potter, years 5 to 7. A LEGO game based on the last 3 books or the last 4 movies of the Harry Potter series. This game covers Harry's journey, from the Dementor attack all the way through to the final battle with Voldemort, with everything presented in the most humorous ways that gets chuckles out of you. As per other LEGO games, you will be solving puzzles with the help of your team of AI or human teammates, humans recommended, to get from point A to point B. There are 6 levels in this game and you will be learning new spells along the way to help you finish them. Once you do finish them, Hogwarts opens up for you to explore to collect collectibles like the red and golden bricks and unlock more characters. With these new characters, the world opens up even more as you obtain traversal abilities to explore those hard-to-reach areas that you couldn't before. What's new with this game compared to years 1 to 4 is the boss battles, where instead of spamming your magic spells at the bosses, you're put into a dueling circle where you have to match the correct color of the spells that the bosses are throwing at you, while at the same time dodging and shielding, which gives the duels a bit more of a challenge. Just to make things more challenging, sometimes you need to throw objects at spawning minions while at the same time fighting the boss. However, this game is made for children, so it isn't too difficult. If you like the LEGO game franchise and a Harry Potter fan, throwing magic around while puzzle solving, then this game is definitely fun for you. At number 6, we have LEGO The Hobbit. Another LEGO game based on Tolkien's books, but this time it's The Hobbit. The Hobbit only follows the plot of the first 2 movies. As per the usual, your job is to go from point A to point B, building things and solving puzzles to get there. Except this time, your point A to point B is from the Shire all the way towards the Misty Mountains to face off against Smaug. The game follows the same plotlines as The Hobbit, but peppered with humor as with usual LEGO games. The difference in this game is the mining mechanic, where instead of mindlessly destroying the world to collect things, you mine and destroy things to collect specific materials to craft keys, build bridges, and completing side quests. To solve puzzles, you have to utilize the different skills that the team can provide and utilize the environment to get through the game. You can get the dwarves to stack on each other, making a dwarf ladder for you to climb through, or perform a tag team attack on the orcs. However, this comes with its own problems with the character designs for the dwarves. Identifying which dwarf does what could be challenging on the fly because they all look very similar to each other. Is it this beard guy? Or this other beard guy? Despite the minor problem, LEGO The Hobbit is more of the LEGO game, and this game definitely shows some visual improvements compared to LEGO Lord of the Rings. And it's definitely fun if you're into the LEGO games, and as an added bonus, if you're into the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. It's just a shame that the Battle of 5 Armies wasn't included in LEGO The Hobbit. At number 7, we have LEGO Harry Potter, years 1 to 4. A LEGO game based on the first 4 books and first 4 films of the Harry Potter books and movie series. If you reached this far in the video, then you should be quite familiar with the inner workings of LEGO games by now. You play through a story campaign featuring titular characters from the Harry Potter movies, going from point A to point B, solving puzzles. In LEGO Harry Potter, you can use your favorite spells from the movies like Wingardium Leviosa to lift items so your partner can reach hard-to-reach areas, assemble items, and break apart objects. Other spells available are Lumos and Ridiculous, just to name a few. And naturally, they all do different things. Choosing between them is easy via the press of one or two buttons. You will have a ton of fun smashing the LEGO world to bits, collecting tiny LEGO bits to purchase more characters for you to use to smash more of the LEGO world to collect more LEGO bits. The hub area is also fun to explore with secrets to find in the nooks and crannies of Hogwarts. As always with LEGO games, there are many humorous bits pumped into this Harry Potter adventure which should give you a little chuckle. There is also a level editor which you can use to create your own level, just for you to kill more time in. It's just unfortunate that you can't share them online. Some frustrating bits is that platforming can be a bit of a miss, but the overarching gameplay is fun if you're into the LEGO games. So if you like more LEGO games, then you know what you're getting with this game. It will also help tremendously if you're a Harry Potter fan and want to experience LEGO Hogwarts. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is great if you really like the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter series, or if you have some younglings to play the LEGO games with. There's a ton of content with these games and you'll definitely feel like you're on a fantastic journey. Haha! Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.